Hi, Charles. Traynor, how you doing?
Well, hey, Lee Gersten, how you doing? Glad to be back on the Lee Gersten show with
I'm gonna be doing pretty good. I'm gonna be.
what?
I usually
Hope
sip
so.
before I record, and then I sip while. I'm just gonna do all the sipping now on camera.
Well, there's the Sipping and Drinking podcast,
Huh?
and this is the Sipping and Drinking podcast, if there ever was one.
Sipping and drinking, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
drink up. And today was my selection. A band that we've been known to do back in the day a little bit. That Lee sent to me first. It's been a while.
Yeah.
This outfit here, but all I can say in advance, I hope our buddy, well, more your buddy,
Yeah.
But he's my buddy through you, Foxy.
Yeah.
Doesn't get either too mad or maybe he'll be happy. But I don't know. I don't even remember the other albums that well. I just remember being hit and miss. So what are we doing today?
But I will tell you first, I let him know that we were doing this album, and he was happy. He doesn't get upset about opinions too much. If it's a review, I mean, but yeah, but yeah, he especially likes this album. And anyway, we're doing. It's not the debut album, but it's just a self-titled album by, well, kind of self-titled, Quicksilver Messenger Service, but they shortened their name, if not in actuality only on the album. They call themselves now Quicksilver. So this is the album called Quicksilver.
And I picked it. The
Yeah.
Quicksilver guy, the one you like the most, or maybe up there the most,
Or what?
or kinda.
One of the ones that he thought was better than one of the ones that I liked better. Yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah, we've done what? 3? I think 3.
No, we've done about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Did we do the very first one with Pride of Man?
I really can't recall.
Or well, we
did one that had like a yacht rock cover looking thing.
Yeah, that was slightly before. Oh no, wait, Solid Silver.
Oh yeah, I think so. They look like they're out on a boat.
Yeah, that was considered to be the only album with the original lineup, which is absolutely like saying the second Journey album was with the original lineup when, well, then what's the first album? Kind of like that. It definitely was not the first album with the original lineup. The one with where Dino, Chet, Jesse, Otis Farrow, whatever, Just for Love. One of the very first ones we did, that was the one with the first original lineup. And this lineup has always been weird as far as the stories they tell. This one, and I won't interrupt you too much more after this, but I'll say this one, David Freiberg was not in the band, but only because he was in jail. He never actually quit the band, but when you have a drug bust and you have to do jail time, that will prevent you from going into the studio.
Yeah.
And so he was not in the band for that reason only. But when he got out, he came back in. And John Cipollina, the original guitarist, he decided during this time he had some weird, like, I guess, paranoid ideas that, hey man, you're not doing or whatever he said. So he left and he did another band which had an album out, and then that band became kind of dysfunctional and broke up, and then he decided to go back into Quicksilver. But on this album he wasn't in the band at that time. He was in his other band. So there's only Dino, Chet, Jesse, and Gary Duncan and Greg Elmore from the original lineup, and a cast of whoever else happens to be there to fill it out.
Also, Nicky Hopkins left.
Yeah, well, Nicky Hopkins was not an original member. He was only in like a session guy anyway.
Right, at this point. He's not on this album.
No.
And I cannot, hopefully you either know or the Quicksilver guy knows. I don't know who produced this album. Maybe self-produced? I have no idea.
It would seem self-produced if a band usually doesn't have production credits.
Right. So, but I wish I could say that I remember every single Quicksilver album as far as we've done those. I remember them kind of like half and half. So
Yeah.
overall. Kind of like about half. Old Chet Powers, Dino Valente,
Yeah.
Jesse McPherson,
Yeah.
whatever name, muscle
Yeah.
guy when he's running from the law. He's hit and miss with me.
Yeah.
I think we did a Gary Duncan one only, I think. I hope.
Huh?
Maybe not, but we need to. Have we done a Gary Duncan only
Quicksilver?
album yet?
No, we haven't. If we did,
I don't think we did.
I'm saying, but if we did in the future, that would probably be very, my friend would probably like that very much, because he happened to like that era of the band. At that particular point when Gary Duncan decided to do that, Dino or Chet, or, well, whatever his name is at the moment, let's call him Fido for now. When Fido, he at that time decided he was only going to do like very, very small gigs, like if the cafe was right next door to where he lived, and he would invite his immediate family to come hear him, then he would do a concert. And I heard they were very good, but they were very small and very few. But he decided to kind of check out of the recording scene, and so he didn't want to do Quicksilver anymore. So Gary, he did have David Freiberg on some of it. I don't know if Greg Elmore was involved or not, but Greg Elmore and David Freiberg are the only two who are still alive of the band. And once in a very rare while, David Freiberg peeks out of the shrubbery where he's been hiding and does a gig. under Quicksilver's name once in a very blue moon. So that does happen, but he usually doesn't promote them. It's kind of like you have to know where they are. And I don't know what Greg Elmore's doing now. I heard an interview with him, and I'm very surprised that the guy who did the interview got one with him, because he never usually does interviews. But the guy asked him if he's going to be doing any more stuff, and Greg Elmore said, I guess I should. I do have my drums still, but that's as far as it went.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we're caught up on all the Quicksilver Messenger Service history.
Yeah.
Why? Let's get into the album.
Okay.
This half self-titled album. Or
yeah.
Quarter of self-titled.
Yeah.
Or third. Actually third.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's they would keep
It would be quarter.
They would keep contradicting themselves too. Anyway, I guess I'll start. I'm voluntarily starting. Okay, the first song from the album Quicksilver is called Hope. This song is an interpolation of Eve of Destruction, and I like this song better, but it still sounds a little too fresh, as if the sound is catered to newbies who don't know the previous material of the band. But it's not bad, it just could be better. What do you think?
You brought up the Destruction. That's a great one. Johnny Thunder's cover there, Lee. You got a great cover of that song. And I know, to bring it up in a Quicksilver with Johnny Thunder. So one of these things are not like the other. And one thing with this song, it doesn't take long to get into this. And oh, there you are, Gino Valenti, Gino, Goo, whatever we're calling you, Goo. Where have you been, buddy? Long time no hear. That's what I was thinking when we listened here. He does a decent job here, even though the song seems a bit cliche. Tons of references that would have been dated at this point when the album came out. But listening for the first time in 2025, I don't know why this is the beginning of a decline for the great incomparable Quicksilver Messenger Service. Even though, I think the song overall has been a little weak opener. I mean, Gary Duncan's guitar is awesome, but this one just seems to have no focus, and it's just noise. And not a good kind. It's not hot here.
Huh. All right. Thank you. What do you think of I Found Love?
Gary Duncan composition here. Hey, the guy taking over for Nicky Hopkins does a decent job on the piano in his own right. So good job there, Mark Magdalene.
Which I think he don't necessarily hold me to this completely, but I think he's the original keyboardist who was with Paul Butterfield Blues Band. But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I'm not sure either, but this one has a similar feel to Kathy's Clown to me, but made a little more jazzed up. And this one works way more in the opener, a more concise song, and not trying to be a hippie lord here with like the opener. Sounds like duo vocals from Duncan and Valente. Hey, let me give a little love to the new bass player here, Mark Ryan. He plays some nice stuff here. This was a fun song, and I dug this one quite a bit. Nothing wrong with songs like this. Go ahead, Lee.
Huh. I put, what is this? Quicksilver and the Jonas Brothers? Well, no, it would be more like Leif Garrett covering Quicksilver. But the analogy is still putrid, and this song, though they do play it well here, sounds like how a rubber chew toy steak would taste. Not my bag. Yuck.
Coming soon, Leif Garrett.
Ew.
I'll make love
I think I finally, after 50 years, finished hearing one song in its total. Anyway.
Okay. Song for Frisco.
Yeah, now, Song for Frisco, okay. I'm not a fan of the whole song, but I will say that the way they play it is awesome and more like what they ought to do. By default, this is so far the best song on the album. What do you think?
Well, we're practicing Dino Valente tunes here, and unlike that not-so-hot opener, he gets back on track here. He has a really solid vocal. That's the thing about old Dino. When he nails it, he nails it. When he doesn't, it's pretty putrid. But thankfully, he nails it here. And this has some structure to it, which could be his enemy at times, it seems, but not here. Great guitar work on here, solid piano. Another decent one, so 2 in a row. Let's keep this going, Quicksilver.
Okay, what do you think of Play My Guitar?
Well, at times it seems to borrow a hair from Foxy Lady in Riffage. It's a freshen up riff, and maybe it's a structure of the song that borrows from Foxy Lady. Valente is bringing the fire in the song here. I mean, 2 out of 3 at this point is pretty good. It's a solid thing from this very disjointed outfit, as I remember. A solid little rocking tune, some killer guitar from Gary Duncan, I must say. This album thus far has been solid. It seems we may be working on the best Quicksilver yet, Lee.
Huh. Well, I put, this is great. I like the song and the way they play it. This so far moves to #1 on my ranking.
Yeah.
All right, now for Rebel. This sounds more like a Chet Powers Dino Valente solo song he put on here for the band to do. But it totally works. I love it. What do you think?
An acoustic rock song, which is refreshing. I mean, this is definitely on my wavelength. But I do think the boys got a hold of some of that acid here, because I'm not sure if all the odd yells and screams underneath Valente's vocals were absolutely needed. But I don't know if a Quicksilver album would be the same without a touch of drug-fueled wackiness. I could have done without that aspect, but other than that, this is yet another decent song. A bit too short and wacky yelling going on, but a solid short tune in Rebel.
Yeah, and of course, they would not have been in the studio if there was no acid to be done. Anyway, the next song, what do you think of... Oh, yeah. What do you think of Fire Brothers?
Our second and last Gary Duncan tune on the album. I guess he was just tired or something, because everything else is by Chet Powers. This one has a slightly epic feel to it, old Fire Brothers. Great production techniques in the song. Like I said, I have no idea who produced it, so I guess they did. And great job. To be completely honest, this is one that could be heard today. It wouldn't sound so dated and of its era. It will be fresh today. One of the better songs here, and maybe the one to be recommended from the album. A highlight here for sure for me, Fire Brothers. Go ahead, Lee.
Okay, I don't know if you said this was a Gary Duncan tune.
Yeah.
But even though it was, I'll put what I said anyway. This was okay. It's more like a Dino solo song.
But it's not.
But even though it's not, it's like it. And because it's short, it didn't seem to go on too long. But if it had, it would have seemed repetitive. It's still a filler track, but not bad. So Gary can write like Dino. Or Barry can write like Fido. Anyway, the next song is Out of My Mind. This is also okay and sounds like a Dino song. Even if it isn't, and I don't know now. But less of a filler tune. and more like something he'd play in a cafe on a Wednesday night at 1 o'clock in the morning where there's only 2 people in the audience. What do you think?
It was. There's only 2 Jared Duncan songs. We've already passed those.
All right.
I do my research. And I enjoy
Okay.
But the cafes you're going to, Lee, I'll go to the one where he's playing. I don't know about everybody else because this is a fairly stripped down song, which sounds a bit autobiographical from Mr. Valente. I really enjoy the sound of his guitar here. At times, the bass playing, though, from old Mark or whoever his name was, it's not so great. I'd have just had the guitar and the tambourine, it wouldn't have perfect. Well, for Dino Valente, perfect, which is about 3/4 perfect. The song has a bit of an ominous feel to it, which is perfect to the theme of the lyrics. I mean, it's pretty solid again. So Quicksilver is doing it here thus far. Only one song at this point I can do without, the opener. So it has to be a record. To me, personally.
All right. What do you think of Don't Cry My Lady Love?
Mark Napolon is like Nicky Hopkins, who? I mean, his taking his claim here. Well, good for him. And like you noted, you're right. He was in the Paul Butterfield Blues Band. So it isn't like he was a rookie, to be fair, so I'm obviously jesting. This one, the piano is the driving force, and the other instrumentation takes a bit of a back seat, as well as the vocals a bit. It's the way it's produced. It sounds like you're in a wind tunnel a bit, or like from a distance. I really, really dug the piano work in this. I mean, they just keep bringing on this album. Here, the Quicksilver guy and I are agreeing. What about you, Lee?
All right. I thought this is the one song that fans of the group say is one of the best songs on the album. I don't understand why they would say that. It's somewhat well written, but it's a bit slow, and again, it sounds like a Dino solo song. It seems as if he went in the studio and added tracks when the other members weren't there. It's not bad, but it sort of meanders and doesn't do much. All right, now for the last song, The Truth. At least it jams. It somehow doesn't get off the ground enough for me. They did better rocking stuff on some of their earlier albums, but at least it has more of a band sound than the 3 previous tracks. I don't dislike it, but I don't love it either. What do you think?
This is insider message to Quicksilver guy. I read this along with the song for Frisco was a tune that these boys played live right from the get-go. And they decided to hold this along with that Frisco song up to this album. So it's like from back in the day, not the first time I've heard a group do that, by the way. It definitely has that jam band type feel here. The guitar work is very tasty. Even though it sounds a bit dated to that era, I suppose they did do a good enough job on this version to make it modern to its era at the time. But it does have that late 60s psychedelic feel, like a good Santana song, which is not many. Like this is a good one. One of the better ones here. I would still go with Fire Brothers as my favorite. And I'm really wondering, why did I have to recommend this one, Lee? Like, this should have been first. I mean, and also, this was not a great selling album, which goes to show, not all great has to be top sellers. This is like the cheap trick with the Quicksilver Messenger Service albums. You know, how bands that underperform, but everybody loves. A solid album. I enjoyed this one. Quicksilver guy, you're right. This album kicked ass. Not sure what Lee's thinking. But go ahead, Lee.
Yeah, I don't agree that it kicks ass. It more is like a dog chewing on shoelaces, but it does do something. It does irritate a bit, so it does at least give an impression.
It's probably the best Quicksilver album I've heard to this point.
It's one of the lesser ones for me.
And I didn't even I didn't even know what Quicksilver probably thought. And I was like, wow, I'm glad I picked this.
Oh, I'm glad you did and I didn't.
Yeah, pat on my back to pick a great Quicksilver album. There we go. I knew they had it in. I knew it.
Well, then the other one that we haven't done yet, which I think is slightly not one of the better ones, we ought to do that soon because you'll probably love it.
We'll be completists. Yeah. Oh, and he's Quicksilver guy.
There's only about like 2 more of the regular band before we get into the Gary Duncan. I'll just pick my teeth and record it, and it will be a Quicksilver album kind of thing.
And then the Dino Valente solo discography and everything. We're just going to be the Quicksilver show. I hope that people that want to see Quicksilver reviews look this up on YouTube and they find us first. Because we are the Quicksilver champ here on the Lee Gersman show.
Yeah, Dino did do, well, there's a collection that came out of him and early stuff that had not been released before, and so that's also out, but like stuff when he was just called Chet Powers, but the album, huh? Yeah.
Chet Powers, Jesse McPherson, all the names you know another. Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But I mean.
But we just keep Quicksilver. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, but I will say that for me, well, Dino did do one official solo album, and the idea behind it was the guy who produced it, because there was a producer, wanted to work with Dino, and he didn't know how to contact him. So he asked Gary Duncan how to contact him, and Gary Duncan had let the guy know that Dino apparently was a real prick, a total a-hole to work with, obnoxious and very annoying. But the guy said, I don't care. I want to work with him anyway. So Gary said, okay. And he gave him the number, and they did a whole album, which Gary Duncan said he heard and was an absolutely perfect commercial album where all the songs would be top radio hits, but Dino didn't like it. So they had to go into the studio and do the album again. And then Dino liked it. So there's apparently 2 versions of his album, one that was not released because Dino didn't like it, and then another one that he did like. And so that's the one that we would review.
Okay, the one that probably nobody did.
Huh?
I'm saying I would have loved to hear the one that maybe people would have liked.
That you mean the one that Dino didn't like?
Right.
Yeah.
It was probably really good.
That it's possibly, I'll have to look into it. It's possibly on the collection that came out after he died. But I'll have to look at that. But I mean, I do like the version that came out, even though it does have a lot of what you don't like about him on it.
Oh, yeah.
but
madness going on that fucker, I'm sure. But all I was saying while we close this out, Lee, is the Quicksilver guy. Happy holidays. I agree with you. I'm glad I picked this.
Yeah.
I would have picked this first if I'd have known about them.
Oh, I never would have.
Yeah, but I persevered with Quicksilver, to be honestly. Come on.
Huh?
I persevered. Through good and bad.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even if the last part of the sandwich has mold on it, you're gonna chew anyway.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just take that part off. Just take that part off. That's the way it is. But
Yeah.
I enjoyed this album. I'll listen to it again.
Oh, I won't.
I will.
I might.
Yeah.
But not if I'm totally sober.
No, this is like the Led Zeppelin 3 or Quicksilver album.
That I will agree with. Not for the same reason, but I will agree.
So, well, anyway.
Okay.
It's been fun. I'm glad to see some Quicksilver again on the Lee Garson Show. Thanks for having me back.
I'm glad we got this crap over with. Oh, thank you. Okay. Take care. Bye.